right, I'm setting up. All right, cool. I got it set up now where I can at least see everything. I'm gonna zoom in a little more just so you can focus on the rubber ducky and the. My daughter gave me that, so that's cool. All right, we'll push it back a little bit though, so I can move the mouse. All right, so what's going on is I'm building a tracker here, kind of learning as I go on getting things notched in the way I like it, making sure that the workflow works for me. And sometimes that requires doing different things that some people may not do on the Digitakt. Too, I think a lot of people get in, they just sample in. Sometimes I want to play something in, so I find it easier to do that than trying to program everything. But it's amazing for programming stuff, and if you're good at it, you're good at it, right? So I got. I don't know what this one is. Hold on a second. Let me. How is that the nylon cords when it shouldn't be there? Perk. I don't think that's supposed to be anything. For some reason, it'll like. This is what I don't get. So I wants to add stuff that I didn't add. That one should be that. Okay. That's the chords. 4 should be nothing. 5 should be nothing. 6 is the bass. Percussion here, I need to put some hi-hats in there, but the percussion's been kind of holding it down for me, so I haven't really done anything. I got the chat up now, so if you say something, if you come in, I should be able to see you now. I put my do not disturb on, so hopefully nobody will call and mess that up. But if it does, it is what it is. Let's see. All right, so I'll have that up while I can look. I'm gonna put some hi-hats in here, so let me do that now on track 4. Yeah, I'm gonna go in and put some hi-hats. So let's see what we got. I don't want something that's taking over the drums, and we're gonna add in some hi-hats. So I've been using the Coop kit. Croup kit, which his stuff has nice hats, and I like the ones that have a little degrading to it or dirt in it already. Sound like they come off of a record. That's my go-to right there. Usually I just pick the first one, to be honest. We'll load it in track 4. Now I did the percussion in Percussion Factory 2. My Do Not Disturb came up. Wonder if that meant somebody was trying to call. Hopefully it worked and it didn't cut the video or anything. So we got a few people. I can see the chat today or this time, right? So I'm doing pretty. Anyway, I'm working on just adding some hi-hats into this thing. I played it at the beginning. I'll play it again in just a second here. But I'm gonna add these hi-hats, which I already did. Get out of there. I'm gonna lower the volume. There's something I want to do that I saw Sun Wu do where he made the hats come to life more. I think it wasn't just like adjusting the level, which is what I'm pretty much doing here. All right. All right, so we'll just put these little hats in. I'm gonna actually I normally would play these in because I like to do the feel, so maybe I should. Let's play them in. Oops, what did I just do there? Velocities. All right, I'm gonna change this pre-count to just one bar. I was doing two when I was recording, but I need a metronome just so I know where. I'm actually gonna use that. These two here. I usually use about four of those when I'm doing hats, just to get some very velocity. Hopefully this doesn't affect the camera. Seems to be okay. All right, cool. Should be it. Pages, they're all there. Turn that metronome off because it gets annoying. I'm turning the sample level down. Okay, so let's get out of this, and then I'll tell you about for anybody that comes in. So I like to play in music. I mean, that's just my way. The Digitakt 2 it does work for playing in music. It's more challenging with just the box itself, but I like to have a keyboard on the side, which I do sitting over this way, right? So I play in a lot of this stuff. So this one is me making a perk track using the UV UVI's factory percussion number 2, which I think just dropped today, if I'm not mistaken, because that's when I got it at least. Kick, snare, hat, right? Pretty simple. I play those in. I usually program the snare for sure because it's just so easy, and then I'll go back and play the kicks. I just played the hats in so you can see that. See, sometimes I get it on one track and then it wants to put it on the next track, and I really don't get why it does that. Like, what's the point? There's nothing there. There's nothing there. All right. So yeah, that's fine. Go back out of that. So there's nothing there on 5 because I originally did have something on 5 and I erased it because I didn't like it. So then I went in and did the chords with a nylon guitar. I'm using Ample Sound. If you want to know what I'm using Ample Sound's nylon guitar. It's um, and it's a single instrument. You buy instruments from them, right? So I bought that instrument. I don't remember when I bought it, but I bought that instrument. They have a sale right now going on too, and they're the only guitars that I've ever tried that are on a computer that actually sound to me like a guitar, right? Like I've never heard horns that sound like horns until I played Swam. Like on a computer, we're talking about, right? So let me pull up the nylon here. So I'm playing chords right there, but if I turn off the chords, that's me playing some chords for you, just so you can see me playing it. And then if I was gonna do patterns, I would probably like make an intro, make an intro, make a body like a main pattern, and then make something that's not. So like 3 or 4 patterns. Let me see if you guys are saying anything. I gotta keep reminding myself to check the chat. Panda the Torture Clown. Cheers. Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate you. I would show you the whole room, but then it's kind of like, nah, I got stuff. It's my work room too. So that's me. So there's me playing some chords using Scalar 3 actually, and playing some chords on that. But I did have to play the rhythm out with it because it's not like it just does it for you. You got to do your part. All right. So there's that. Right there's nothing. 6 is me playing not trillion, the bass. 7 is the chords, right? So if you put it all together, And it's just like 8 bars. That's all it is. It's really not that much. Then I was gonna mess with some horns. So I'm messing around with the horns, messing up, but whatever. Just playing something, and the scale is B Dorian, in case you're wondering what the scale is. So it's B Dorian. So I'm recording in directly to this, and I'm actually just using these left and right in. Actually, am I using the left right in? Let me make sure I'm telling you the truth. Hold on. I forgot what I was using for. No, I'm using the USB-C. I'm sorry. I can use either one. I figured that out now. I did an update video in the previous video that I can use either one, but I'm using the USB-C because it's just easy to go from in here right into the computer, and I can send the audio back. So when I'm recording, I'm just recording with with it over the track. So I can set the steps. I put it on mono if it's going to be bass or guitar, or if it's going to be like horns or something, I'm gonna leave it on mono left and right. And then I'm just using the USB, and then I can arm the track, and then I'm just show you real quick, arm the track, press play. Now that's if I want to do that. If I want to count in, I can still arm the track and then do a record play, and it'll do a count in for me. So let's say I got why is it going to that track? Let's say I go here and I turn the metronome on. I could get a count in. I'm gonna do not 3 bars. That's crazy. I'll do 2 bars, right? And then I'm gonna go back into here. This is kind of like how I used to record the SP404. If you ever watch any of those videos, it's almost the same, pretty much identical. Um, it's the workflow is honestly just reminds me of that so much. All right, so I have it at 128 steps, but usually when I'm doing something like a lead, I'm not really trying to be stuck on the amount of steps or whatever. So I'll do the max. But the only problem with this is that's different from the SP404 is with the SP404, I could record 16 minutes on one block of space. This is only giving me 60, what is that, 66 seconds? So it's not going to be enough to do a solo the way I would do it. I would probably do my solos inside of Ableton and just bring them in here. So I have another method I didn't show in a video that I could show, I guess. It's a workaround, and the workaround is you record in Ableton, or you can use your um, iPad or whatever. So you record the sound while the track is playing here, and then you take that sound and then just go ahead and export it into the to the device because it can play longer samples, but you can't sample in longer samples. I think that doesn't make sense, but that's exactly what it is. So I'm going to turn the arm off because unfortunately that ain't going to work if I want to do that. So what we'll do is, let's see, 5 is empty. I'm just using 5 as an example of a track. It would be nice to record straight to the track you want. Just pick a track, arm it, and just literally record instead of all that saving and hitting. And they could eliminate a lot of steps. But anyway, it doesn't do that, so that's what it is. Um, so what I have to do when I'm doing something like, let's say, a long solo, is I press play. Ooh, I messed up. All right, and I use MIDI capture, and then I capture that MIDI, and then take that bounce that particular because Ableton now has bounce, right? So you can bounce it to an audio and then send back into here, and then that's how you sequence it in here if that's what you want to do. That's the way I would do it. Otherwise, at this point, you call it a day, and then you send all the tracks go ahead and record all your tracks into um, Ableton and then finish it in Ableton. That's your other option. But I kind of like doing it as much as I can in here. If I can get as many parts as possible done in the device is fun, and then go back to Ableton for what I just can't do in this device. So that's kind of my method to the madness. All right, let me see if anybody says anything in the chat. I like to explain what I'm doing. I only got one person says something in there. Wow. Am I not live? Let me see. Yeah, I'm live. So I like to explain it as I go. So because I know people will come back and ask you questions later. But if I can answer them in the process of doing it, it's kind of better that way. But yeah, so you are limited on that, unfortunately, on how long. And I think that's a bummer because there's like 20 gigs that I'm never gonna. I personally am not gonna fill it up because I'm not putting that many samples on here. Most of the time, I'm putting like if I'm doing, even if I put a lot of drums and stuff like that, it's not gonna take up 20 gigs. So it would be nice to have kind of an open end, free form way of recording, just so I could make it long samples. But whatever. It is what it is. So let's just do an 8 bar, I guess. Or I could do two different riffs. I could make two tracks with different lengths. Like maybe one has 8 on it, maybe another one has 16, or another one has 8 or 4 or whatever, and then piece them together. That's kind of a pain in the butt, though, I must admit. But I could do something. Let's just do something, and we'll max out what we could do, and then we'll just play, and then whatever comes to me comes to me. See, I just hit that button and start recording. So that's just so you can see that it records. All right, let's go ahead and got the metronome on, got a 2 bar count in. Go ahead and arm the track. So we'll go up here, arm the track, and we'll hit play 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that's enough. Turn that metronome off. Double tap to stop. So it's not recording, it's only recording in this buffer, right? And then it's just keeping it there. I don't even know how long that is, nor do I care, because it doesn't really matter. Hit yes. I'm gonna save it. Silent elbow. Some of these gonna make me laugh, but warning narrative. They come up with some funny titles too. Cheerful crawl, bite size stardom, dapper, like I don't know what that means. Convincing domestic, Anyway, sometimes I don't even use them, but I just like looking at them just to see what they astonishing spoon. Astonishing spoon. I'm gonna put saxophone in here. So I actually like the way the naming works in here. I think it works pretty good. If you just hit the function, you can do it a couple different ways. I just like to hit the function, navigate to where I'm going, and then do it like that, and hit yes. It'll save it in the buffer for you. Some of the terms they use, I think I wouldn't even use, but and then it asks you which track. We're gonna go to 5 since there was nothing on 5. That joint is loud too. So when you have something like that you're gonna play a long time, you gotta turn the amp decay all the way up or it'll just fade out. Good thing is you got that nice there. I'm gonna go here and turn down the volume on this thing because it's like crazy loud. Still kind of loud. But anyway, I gotta go. I just wanted to show you guys this. I'm out.